Well, now that Hell in a Cell is behind us, like a red sore in a place that we can't touch, so we should have gone to the doctor to get that goddamn thing lanced before. We did go to the doctor, but he told us, sorry, you didn't come soon enough. You only have a few weeks left to live. I'm sorry, I got the timeline wrong. You're like Homer Simpson after eating that poisonous blowfish. You have 24 hours left to live. His drool, it's warm. Boy, that was back when The Simpsons was really goddamn good. Why is The Simpsons still on the goddamn air? Never mind about The Simpsons. We are steamrolling, speeding towards Money in the Bank, where superstars from Raw and SmackDown, men and women, go head-to-head to establish brand white supremacy. Wait, no, that's what Fox wants to do to Survivor Series, but I digress. That's in months. Money in the Bank, where superstars can climb the ladder to retrieve the briefcase, and they can cash in an opportunity to become champion anytime over the next year, or at WrestleMania, or at house shows, or perhaps at the first wrestling show in space. Who the fuck knows? They keep changing around the whole thing with Money in the Bank, and boy, this show was certainly something, wasn't it? We don't get any qualifying matches. We can't get any of that since we have less than a month to go until Money in the Bank. Nope. We get mishaps, murkiness, and weird, mundane shit, and a few good things. And also a turn that might have made sense if, well, certain things hadn't happened at Hell in a Cell just 24 hours ago. I'm John Renton with my review, WWE Raw from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Not featuring Mr. Kennedy. Kennedy! Oops, hit the wall. Whatever. Let me know your thoughts on the show in the comments, please. It's going to be one of those reviews, folks. Because I was prepared to turn this thing off after the first 35 minutes. Recaps of Seth targeting Cody's loose muscle. Cody being simultaneously very, very brave for trying to go through with the match and also being a fucking goddamn moron. First, he sets himself on fire. Actually, his wife did. And they went higher to the sun. And then he wrestled with a torn pec. And now he will be taken to a local medical facility for pec surgery and anal bleeding. What? Wow. So, and Judgment Day is announcing a new member in 2 hours. You have 2 hours to figure out who do they stimulate to become their fourth member. The fourth pillar of Judgment Day. Adrenaline in my soul. Last night, my stupidity was out of control. Man, Cody talks about it was pure hell. He went through a lot. Look, I'm not going to say that the guy doesn't have a high pain tolerance and didn't want to deliver. Sure, good for him. I hope that he can recover from his surgery. It was monumentally fucking stupid. It's the same fucking promo. The same thing. He also mentions his daughter Liberty, which I guarantee he named his daughter Liberty, so when she throws her first tantrum, he can say, cry more, live. You know that that's what he did. He mentions possibly winning Money in the Bank. 4 weeks away. Here's Seth Rollins, who apparently skinned an inbred zebra to make that suit. He doesn't, I still don't like you, but after last night, you have my respect, and your dad is proud of you, and he's milking it and everything, and he's milking Cody's loose muscle. I'm going to keep saying that, because why the fuck not? Cody, and then waves goodbye after they have a handshake and everything, and he's on the stage. It's not really, it's just a flat surface, but he's there and everything, and you can see it coming from a mile a goddamn way. Seth Rollins comes out with the sledgehammer. Why don't you call my name? Ha 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 ha. Apparently Seth Rollins is Crank, or from Prince of Space, MST3K. Any MST3K fans in the house? Are you in your house? Are you in your house like NXT was? It was in my house. It was very uncomfortable. How a wrestling event fit here? I have no idea. So, he beats the shit out of Cody, beats the shit out of him, rips his shirt, sleeve ripping bandits. We need to get my shirt to a hospital. And beats the shit out of him. And back from the break, after beating the shit out of him, Cody, limps to the back, but he will leave under his own power. Okay, so let me get this straight. We know that Cody's going to be out for a while. Even if he somehow manages to have massive recovery powers like Cena from, from like just before No Mercy 2007, returning at the Rumble 2008, I think Cody will probably be out for the rest of the year. Whatever, that's fine. So he goes through all that shit. Sledgehammer shots, chair shots, table stuff, bull rope, all this stuff. Toolboxes, collision with the cage. He comes out and he readily admits that he is beat up and he's going to have to go get surgery. And then Seth beats him up a few times and hits him a few more times with a sledgehammer, and now he's going to be out? Logic! This was the first 25 minutes of the program, by the way. And I'm sorry. Cody has put himself through hell. He didn't need to. Didn't need to set himself on fire. Didn't need to do this. I think everybody would have understood if he didn't. But then again, maybe it wouldn't have made the injury worse. It was a really uncomfortable match to watch. And then we get the Becky, Asuka, and Bianca package. We are nearly 30 minutes into the program, a 3-hour program before we get to the first match. Becky makes her entrance. Dana is already there, because Dana doesn't really get a TV entrance very often, because no disrespect to how hard she's trained, but she's Dana Brooke. She's here, and Becky's up in the fucking stratosphere. Becky, on her worst day, is going to be ranked way higher than Dana Brooke could ever hope, and it's not even a fault of Dana's efforts. Then the 24/7 nonsense shows up. Why are they doing the 24/7 championship stuff? I want the people who from Creative who came up with this to have their heads put on spikes in front of their family. Harsh? I don't care. True, Tozawa, Tamina, Dijakovic, who deserves so much better than this. By the way, Tozawa was apparently a champion and Dana pinned him. That was the first official match, apparently. And then Becky says, no one is winning championships during my matches but me. And then she challenges Dana. We then go to break. So, really, if we don't count that match, we are about 35 minutes into the program before we get to this. And oh, Jesus Christ. Becky versus Dana, 24/7 championship, about 30 seconds, 45 seconds maybe. Asuka interrupts. Her music plays for a bit. And then we get an awkward roll-up. Asuka holds the foot. 1, 2, 3. The referee doesn't see it. And so Dana Brooke gets a victory over Becky. Now, I don't mind the fact that they're continuing this feud with Becky and Asuka. You couldn't have done it better than this. You really couldn't have done it better than this, involving Becky in the 24/7 nonsense. That absolute bullshit, that atrocity, where if I was apparently USA Network maybe wanted it, I don't fucking know. I would have pulled it from the fucking television. I would have just pulled it. I would have said, no, we're not going to do this renewed deal or whatever. Let's just fucking, get rid of it. 24/7 stuff's an abortion. And Dana wins. Dana beats Becky Lynch, and wrestling dies a little bit more because Creative is stupid and bad everything and deserves to be, have the Ring of Power, and somebody should wipe them out along with Kevin Dunn. Cena's going to return in Laredo, Texas in 3 weeks. 20 years of Cena. 1,000 years. No. So I guess you need all the boosts for Laredo, Texas. They can't. Nothing against Laredo, Texas. They just don't draw very well in Texas. They're going to have him, they're going to hotshot him versus Theory for SummerSlam. They are desperate to get Austin Theory to be interesting, and it will not work. Speaking of things that won't work, Miz and Maurice. Oh boy, Maurice has her titties out. Yay. Try fucking learning it. Get some fucking flash. I know that English is her second language, but good fucking grief. Just let her go out there and speak naturally. Don't give her verbiage that's scripted. Miz is one of the few people that can actually do this stuff. I didn't understand a goddamn thing Maurice said for the first bid. Riddle showed up. And then he knocks Miz and says, she's dragging you around by your tiny balls. And then Maurice talks about how his balls, are average to above average to gigantic. They're making ball jokes. Thanks for trying to make me laugh at this absolutely abhorrent thing, right? Ciampa then attacks him. Why is Ciampa just randomly attacking people and then disappearing? Is it like, does he disappear like Jet Li in the One? He disappears into another part of the multiverse? What the fuck is going on here? So then Miz, by the way, agrees to face Riddle after Riddle had challenged him earlier in that segment. Riddle also wants to face Roman Reigns. And then Miz in a tuxedo loses to Riddle after he gets his pants ripped. And then Maurice sends her purse in there, saying, here, take my purse, please. And then misses, and then Riddle wins. This show is abhorrent by this point. Absolutely abhorrent. Like, I don't like Maurice. I don't like Miz. As far as television characters, I don't give a shit what they do on their fucking stupid-ass reality show. The USA Network apparently thinks is actually good television. I mean, it's better than the Chrisleys, which, good job, Todd. We all fucking knew that about you, you fucking goddamn little, bankrupt bitch. So, Riddle wants Roman. He keeps wanting Roman in the worst way. Recaps of In Your House. Please never come back to my house, NXT. In fact, if I could ban NXT from my house, I would find a way to do it. The Profits entrance, Usos entrance. We go to break. Usos versus Profits Championship Contenders match. The Profits were on offense for a while, but honestly, the match was same as it ever was. Montez has packed on some muscle. They're going to try to make him a single star. Good luck, because it took them forever to do that with Kofi, so I don't see them doing it with Montez. Not to say that Montez isn't talented. And we go through 2 ad breaks just to get to a count-out win, or the Profits get a count-out victory. The Usos take pins all the time in tag matches. Why? Is this a way for the Profits to become unified tag team champions? Is anybody really going to fucking care by this point? The tag team division's fucking joke, and that's not even a knock on anybody that's, any talented teams that are there. Recap to Cody and Rollins. Rollins targeted Cody's loose muscle. Lashley comes out to cut a promo after years and years of grinding all over MVP, helping grind with him. He says he wants to know what's next. Then Theory shows up. I would like to say right now that Austin Theory is the equivalent of NyQuil in WWE. I used to say that with Baron Corbin. I can tune out some of Baron Corbin's stuff, but at least Baron Corbin's good in the ring. It's not the Theory is bad in the ring, he's just bland. He basically is Chase Owens with the same allegations. Allegedly. So, Lashley is better at promos than Theory, because Theory is not very good. If they are going to strap the Rocket to Theory, then you know what? The stock deserves to drop to zero, and Vince McMahon deserves to lose millions upon millions of dollars, is all I'm going to say. Lashley had enough of them, threw him out of the ring, and said, take a walk, kid. Then we get a Veer pre-tape, where he's speaking normally, and speaking quite eloquently. Dominic with Ray taking on Veer. I then wrote down and asked myself, what ancient totem did I accidentally knock over to deserve seeing Dominic in a fucking singles match? Why? Just go through a break. Why? Get Dominic out of the fucking ring. We are 2 years into this experiment. It is not fucking working. I know that some people take time, and some people take time to develop. He looks awkward. He does not look like he really believes what he's doing. Brock did not F5 him hard enough. Or F5 Ray on Dominic and that whole Cain Velasquez thing. And God, that was great. I need to rewatch that. And, by the way, Ray then causes a DQ. Veer, by the way, who did nothing wrong except maul Dominic, who doesn't deserve to be in the fucking ring. Ray, being the good babyface, did that. Thanks, Ray. You have another kid. Dominic could have been mauled and it would have been fine. So, Judgment Day entrance. Rhea Ripley in those tights. Everyone was fine. I was fine. And if you're saying that, you're lying. You are fucking lying through your teeth, other people's teeth, and teeth of people that aren't even born yet. All rise, Priest says. Stop thinking about it. You know who you are. There were a lot of what chants. You know why? Because Judgment Day, from a presentation standpoint, they look great. Edge, Priest, Rhea. Sometimes the scripting the group has not worked for me. This has been a complete misfire. An absolute misfire. I mean, they took a shot like Chris and Kerry Von Erich, but unlike those guys, this missed. And Rhea in that new gear, Jesus. Again, look at Rhea Ripley. Look at her. We have been, Edge. We have been. It's hard not to notice Rhea Ripley. But who is the newest member? It's Finn. What? Bear in mind that Hell in a Cell, in case you missed it and didn't check out my review, that's fine. Check out my review. Pause this right now. Go to my review. I'll wait. See, now then you would know that Judgment Day, Edge actually got the pin that night. Bear in mind, Edge got the pin. Finn says, well, Finn is here. He's like talking about how, you opened my eyes and what do I see? a way to take over this group, please. But, you know, they do some verbiage, this kind of stuff. Finn puts over Priest, puts over Rhea. And then Priest says, we need to rid ourselves of the last bit of limitations holding us back, which is you. And looks at Edge, and then they beat the shit out of Edge. Edge, who got the victory at Hell in a Cell 24 hours ago. Didn't get pinned. Brought these two into this group. They haven't dealt with losses in big matches. They haven't been together that long. And now all of a sudden they beat the shit out of Edge. They do an announcer's table spot where, man, he almost hit the edge of the announcer's table. And then the chairs come out. And then the chair leg, you know, like Edge was doing to Seth Rollins and doing to Roman and everything. And Finn sticks his rod in Edge's mouth. I'm just going to put that image in your head because it was all that was in my head. It's all that's ever in my head. You don't want to know what else is in my head. It's like anybody that says, I'd like to know what goes on in your mind. No, you don't. I don't want to know what goes on in my mind. What goes on in my mind, that is. The officials get held off. And then Concerto to Priest. Okay. Finn becoming the leader of this group. It's like they're trying to do the Bullet Club turn on steroids. Except unlike Bullet Club, this group might actually mean something. At least current day Bullet Club. Okay, Finn turning, yeah, it's shocking, but it also doesn't make any sense. Oh, Cody got injured. Edge, we're gonna switch you face despite the fact you turned heel just a few months ago and got your hair cut and everything and whatever, and it doesn't... What about this makes sense? Seriously, what about this makes sense? Oh, they may try to promo it and try and cover this stuff. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, sure, Finn, Lee, and the group, they're going to try to make it like Prince Devitt. Yeah, what's old is bullshit again. I'm not a fan of Bullet Club, in case you can't tell. And I just, whatever. I mean, cool to Finn. That's all I got to fucking say about that. We got more show, by the way, guys. More show to talk about. Edward James almost beats Cedric in about 30 seconds and then gets interrupted by Dolph and Rude, who are back from sabbatical or from a trip around the sun like Buzz Lightyear in the Lightyear trailer. I don't fucking know. They went, woo! Where were they? I mean, judging by the tans, it looks like they were around the sun. They're on the old Superstars stage with Kevin Steve Patrick, and then they get interrupted by Edward James Olmos and MVP, and they throw MVP off into Edward James Olmos and run off. Okay, why? MVP doesn't have a lot left as far as being able to do much of anything in the ring, and I'm not knocking. He had a great career, went over and did some good stuff in New Japan. He's been a great manager since coming back. But this, yeah, people were crying out for Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode to come back as a team. I like both guys as wrestlers. Whatever. Alpha Academy, speaking of shit I don't care about, show up. Otis with Gable took on the Ultimate Ezekiel, and a crucifix wins it because this is something they needed to dedicate a lot of national television to. Ezekiel wants a match with Owens. Owens says, admit you're Elias. Okay, I admit I'm Elias. Ha ha. Oh, I took something from the Owens playbook. I lied. Again, 3 hours of programming, and they put this shit on there. Recaps of the three-way again at 7:27, and Bianca makes her entrance. Okay, I want you to keep that in mind. 7:27 my time. 33 minutes left in the program, because I'm on West Coast time. So, Bianca, she knows she's a she's a walking target. No, Hulk, not like, no, Hulk, put the spray can down. Judgment Day recaps. Alexa entrance. Pepper Niven and Nikki Ash. And then a Liv entrance. Stop thinking about it, Kier. I know you're thinking about it. I do wonder, though, Rhea, how hard does she step on somebody even if they ask her? But Kier, stop it. Get some help. So, Cena then tweet plugging his return. They will get a big reaction in Laredo for Cena's return. This also needs to be the last Cena return. He's in his mid-40s. He couldn't really do much against Roman. They don't need to do anymore. Rhea taking on Piper, Niven, Alexa Bliss, and Liv. It's a 4-way contenders match. 16 minutes left. We had 33 minutes left when we basically finished up the recaps with Bianca's entrance and everything, and now 16 minutes left. They killed that much time. The match was a bit of a mess with some cool spots. Liv has really shown off. Piper just sitting on her, doing a splash. Rhea showing off her strength. Alexa being fucking useless in the ring, cannot wrestle a lick. Is not believable. Riho is more fucking believable in the ring than she is. This is enough of Alexa. Enough. Don't want anything bad happening to her. Go to Hollywood. Do something. Get out of wrestling. You're not any good. My opinion. That's it. And then with later a Riptide where, God, Piper almost sandbagged her. And 1, 2, 3. So Rhea's going to face off against Bianca. And Judgment Day music hits. And boom, suddenly Balor and Priest are there because during the cutaway, anything's possible. I hope that Rhea and Bianca are given a lot of time and have a great match. It's unfortunate that Rhea is going to lose. I'm not saying Bianca's reign should end. I think Bianca's reign should continue for a while. They wrote themselves into a corner. If Bianca wins, then you have to wonder what they're going to do with Rhea. Maybe she takes somebody's spot in the Money in the Bank match. Liv at this point, I believe, has a movie role coming up. She won't be in Money in the Bank. That means we're probably going to get Alexa in Money in the Bank, and if Alexa wins and then wins the championship, I think the women's division should just be freaking burned to the ground. So yeah, that show was certainly something. No Money in the Bank qualifiers. Maybe we'll have some on SmackDown. You know, the show that's 2 hours and basically it's nothing but a bunch of filler, and I still barely know her. I'm not saying the Money in the Bank won't end up delivering because the last couple pay-per-views, premium live events that is, have over-delivered, but the expectations were nearly in the earth's fucking core, which is apparently right by my feet. So yeah, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.